Welcome, 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 and with all my heart, a Merry Christmas to you and those you love. Wherever life has taken you in the past, whatever your faith, tradition, lack thereof, life situation right now, I am and we are just so glad that you have joined us. Now, on our Facebook page and web page, you can see our entire Christmas welcome to see just how true that is. You can also find our Christmas Mass schedule and all kinds of information about parking and everything. I will say this about the Christmas Mass schedule. On Christmas Eve, we have Masses at 4 p.m., 6:30, and 10 p.m. On Christmas Day, we have Masses at 7:30, 9:30, and 11:30. If you were able to join us in person, we'd be honored. If not, I get it. I will lead 4 of those services. Father Leo will lead the 6:30 Christmas Eve, and thankfully, the 7:30 a.m. Christmas Day, in case you wanted to avoid me. But again, just thank you. And I know that I don't know what it's like to be you these days, what mixture of emotions you might have, whether you're with loved ones or will be with loved ones or not, what joys and heartaches, maybe an empty place at table, whatever the combination of it all. I pray that you will know that Christ has made a home, not just in Bethlehem all those years ago, but with you. Again, in my own name, on behalf of all of us, Merry Christmas. I love you. We love you. It is 1968, a year not unlike the present. In many ways, it was a year like this one. Although filled with many blessings and much goodness, 1968 was also a time of great struggle. A long, difficult conflict raged out of control in Southeast Asia. It was the year of the Tet Offensive, which convinced many Americans that the Vietnam War was a hopeless cause. It is 1968. On a quiet April evening, the leader of the civil rights movement would be gunned down as he stood on the balcony of the Lorraine Motel. The assassination of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. would lead to unrest and riots across America. 2 months later, Bobby Kennedy, who was running for president of the United States, was also assassinated. 1968 was a year not unlike the present, full of upheaval, messiness, and chaos. And then came Christmas. December 24th, 1968 is arguably one of the more pivotal days in the history of civilization. For the first time since life was created, human beings escaped the pull and encumbrance of Earth's gravity to circle around another heavenly body, the moon. It was Apollo 8, the mission that saved 1968, the mission that helped us see ourselves as we truly are. On the 4th pass of the moon, Frank Borman, James Lovell Jr., and William Andrews became the first human to behold the Earth rise. There, rising in the inky darkness of space like a blue Christmas ornament, was the Earth. Every man, woman, and child all the seas and mountains and fields, the clouds and land masses, the animals, birds, plants, all the knowledge, art, and literature, all the hate, love, tumult, and joy, everything rising, fragile, everything together in the vast expanse of the cosmos. And as the astronauts beam this amazing image back to Earth, Andrew says, "We are now approaching lunar sunrise. And for all the people back on Earth, the crew of Apollo 8 has a message that we would like to send you now." Then each astronaut, in turn, read a portion of the creation story from the book of Genesis, including, "In the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth. And God said, 'Let there be light,' and there was light. And God said, 'Let there be a firmament in the midst of the waters,' and it was so. And God called the dry land earth, and the gathering together of the waters the seas. And God saw that it was good." And they concluded. And from the crew of Apollo 8, we close with, "Good night, good luck, a Merry Christmas, and God bless all of you on the good earth." It was 1968, and for the first time we got to see ourselves from this unique vantage point. We saw what God saw, and remembered that it was good, for it was on this fragile, beautiful planet that God decided to make a home and took flesh with us as a little child. 55 years later, there's still tumult, turmoil, and turbulence on planet Earth. There's still war and want, and it seems that in many ways we have forgotten the perspective of Apollo 8. Oh, for the first time we saw ourselves as God did, as one wonderfully diverse family, deeply connected, deep down good. For it was on this beautiful, fragile planet that God took flesh as a little child. And that is why, to this day, we need Christmas. We have forgotten that we are all in this as one, bound together by the love of this amazingly good and incredibly humble God. We have forgotten that we are responsible for one another and for this magnificent planet. We have forgotten that we are each precious, and that each life and all life needs to be nurtured and reverenced. God took flesh on this precious planet as if to say, "Now, do you see how good you are? I have become who you are. In Jesus, I will know what it is to be you. I will know what it is to dance or to be afraid. I will know what it is like to take someone's hand in mine, to bury a loved one, to feel tears roll down my cheeks, or to be unable to stop laughing. I will know what it is to be you, for I have become who you are, so that you might see that who you are is good." That is why we again need Christmas. We need the mystery of the Word made flesh to touch our heart and inspire our thinking, so that we may regain the vision of unity, of peace, of our deep, deep connection one to another. The vision of a God so in love with us that God sent God's Son into the tumult, the turmoil, and the mess of our world, so that we might see things anew. And wherever you may be in your own trajectories and orbits, know that in this season, Christ again comes to touch us, to heal us, to encourage us, to love us, so that we might do the same for a hurting, broken, fragile world, for each of its precious children and for all of creation, so that we begin again to see ourselves as God does. Indeed, as the crew of Apollo 8 put it, a Merry Christmas, and God bless all of you on the good earth.